Perfect. It's been really wonderful talking to you and getting a sense of your journey and how you engaged with Good Morning Portugal before and now coming to the meetup as well. So you know where we are on a Wednesday.
Yes, I do.
And you know where we are as a community. So make sure we stay in touch, please.
Well, thank you for your efforts in bringing this community together, because you make it easier, more comfortable, less stressful for all of us
thank you.
by facilitating this.
Oh, that's lovely to hear.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Lovely to hear that. Thank you very much indeed. Well, hello and good evening. I think there's a problem here. Bear with us. Oh dear, Mrs. M. That's better, isn't it? Well, I begin by saying good evening. Slightly delirious, on tour, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
South of the river here in the greater Lisbon metropolis. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning here in Portugal, isn't it? So I hope it's a much more civil hour where you are. Please tell us who you are and where you are. And we, as you can see, we are on tour. I can see my glass of gin and tonic in front of the camera. Whoops. We are taking it easy on the sofa. And there's a very good chance that if you're not interested in Portugal, you still might watch and get some value as two people fall asleep on the sofa in front of you on YouTube. Probably wouldn't be a first. I remember working at a pirate radio station and one of the DJs fell asleep, Mrs. M.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it was in the days of vinyl where the record got to the end and it was just going round.
Seriously. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Well, good evening to you, Mrs. M, as well. Lovely to see you with me on the screen here. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Don't know which way to look.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a whistle-stop tour, isn't it? I'm actually a little bit pooped. I'm a little bit sort of worn out. It's been such a long week. We've been so busy, both of us.
Such a dynamic start to the show tonight.
Yeah.
There were apologies.
We're both like...
Oh, look, Michael's here. You're in the same room. We're always in the same room, funnily enough. We're not in two different studios when we're on different screens.
I can't actually see any of the comments, so you have to give me a bit more of a clue as to which Michael we're talking about.
We're talking about Michael T over there in the United States, who also says you should give me a foot massage straight after the show. Nice one, Michael. Doesn't really, but I could make anything up.
You really could, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to south of the Thames. Nah, not this time of night, mate. Sorry.
Though I am born south of the Thames.
Yeah, true. Good evening to you, Capricorn. Chris, up at this ungodly hour as well.
Yeah.
Nothing like 1 a.m., huh? So where are you? Oh, I see. Yes, the tables are turned.
Yeah.
You're normally in this condition.
It's in a favourable time zone for you now, isn't it, Suze?
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
How is your Saturday?
We're feeling it.
As we're feeling Sunday.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Good to have you here, Suzanne Capricorn and Michael T. Thank you for your messages, Michael T. Good evening from Ohio, Tom S. I would love to tell you how lovely my day has been, but I don't want to lie.
Oh no.
That's not so good, is it?
Oh, that's awful.
It is. Can we help in any way, Thomas? Do let us know if we can, please. Glacio D also here. Hey, good evening. How are you, Glacio? Good to see you. And to Kukikoyo, aloha to you. Please, we want your questions. That would make it really worthwhile for us being here, just to be able to help. And that fires up the show and puts fuel on the fire, as it were, and puts petrol in the engine of this show. So, yes, question from Chris. This is great, Capricorn 12, Chris. I was with a few man cavers today, Chris. I was with Lee, with Carl H, and David as well. David turned up and hung out with them for a little while, which is great fun. Okay, you guys from the States, how many of you are coming to Portugal on a scouting trip this year? Thank you, Chris, for your help.
That's a really good question, because what I was going to also say is, how many of you are checking into an Airbnb?
Do you want to talk of Airbnb experience here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been to lots of Airbnbs, mainly in Portugal, not so much in the UK, and they're really good. I don't think we've had a poor experience yet, have we?
Nothing terrible. I mean, some things, it's like, like normal life things where you find out your Airbnb is above a bar whereas we used to go and see that dentist as hard as that might be to believe for some of our American viewers looking at our British teeth. We used to go to the Algarve to see a biological dentist, and one of the places we stayed at was above a bar, wasn't it, which was a bit noisy.
Really? I don't even remember.
Yeah,
that.
it didn't bother you, did it?
No.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, basically, amazing experiences in Airbnb.
They're all really amazing experiences, but there are a few sort of like fundamental things that I would point out. If you're really sensitive to things like damp and mold and things like that, I would
not come to Portugal.
No. We haven't had to do it here because we've got pretty new pillows here. I would. We have actually got new pillows in our car, and we could have brought them in. We have stayed in a couple of places, Airbnbs, and where they're not always opened up. Where they might have like a week or two when there's no one in. Where all the linen gets stored, it often gets really, really damp and musty.
Yeah.
So, often we have our own pillows. We just happen to have gone past IKEA on the way here and got a couple of new feather pillows.
But we had a traditional Portuguese lunch as well.
Yeah. I have to say, actually, if you like feather pillows, it is worth. I don't sort of say you should ship many things over, but they're not that easy to get hold of in Portugal.
Feather pillows?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Apart from in IKEA.
In IKEA.
But that's also to do with the climate, isn't it?
Even in IKEA, most of the pillows now are some kind of polyfiber.
Washable, airable, whereas, organic things, if they're going to be subjected to damp, mouldy conditions, it's not going to be great, is it?
Yeah, but I mean, if that's interesting, if that's important to you, then I would do that. But anyway, pillows aside, this is the thing that gets us every single Airbnb that we go to, and we're not like so much into caffeine that we think ahead about it,
I know.
And there's always a coffee machine, and they always leave you just enough capsules for one coffee each a day. And so we always end up going to the supermarket and buying replacement capsules. And there's about 6 or 7 different capsule systems in Portugal. It's probably more than that, in fact. And we have got this habit of continuously buying the wrong capsules, even when we
should start a website. We could swap them with people.
Even when we've looked them up, we've ended up coming back with the wrong ones. They all look really, really similar, but all the machines are different. And yeah, I mean, one thing you can do if you've bought the wrong ones is just pierce them and make it in a saucepan.
We're talking about pillows still. We're talking about
make the coffee in a saucepan, and then just filter it out with a tea strainer or some filter paper. But that's
those plastic things haven't got grains in them, haven't they? Got concentrated coffee?
Yeah.
As in a liquid, it's a syrup.
Oh, I don't know.
You're talking about you've bought coffee bags before, haven't you?
Yeah, but I have actually used a couple of those things and pierced them.
Have you? And then put that. Okay.
But I mean, there are so many different systems, so.
And there are also so many cafes as well. So in many ways, that might be another thing. If the cafes are open, that is to go out and have coffee outside.
Yeah, see, the thing with us is we've got kids, and so it takes so much longer to get everybody up and out through the door. So if you don't have to travel with kids, or someone that is uniquely special in how long it takes them to get ready, or if they're very difficult, like put your shoes on. No.
And
put your damn shoes on. So, maybe these like little gripes about Airbnb are a moot point, but I mean, on the whole, it's brilliant. I mean, we're sat, it's so nice. We're on in an Airbnb on a golf course south of Lisbon, and we've lived here before. Actually, our house that we lived in for 9 months was just 7 doors down, and we're just staying a little bit up the road on a different floor. And it's lovely. We're in the woods.
I'm just putting the name into the place because. This place in itself is a good hack, isn't it, as a base?
Yeah.
As a possibility for being near where all the action is in Lisbon. And if you want to be in a base camp that's good for Setúbal, as a town, the south. If you want to mainly explore the south, this would be a really good base camp, I think.
Well, after flying in to Lisbon?
That for a week, 4 weeks, even a year.
Yeah.
I would say. And not many people know about it, that's the thing.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they want to go to Lisbon, they stay on the outskirts of Lisbon, but mainly north of the river. They don't really consider going south, and it's so easy to get in. Like when we were living here for 9 months, we could drive to Lisbon very, very quickly. And actually, it was always quite easy finding parking spaces. We never had that much difficulty. I mean, you are able to drive through Lisbon, aren't you? You're quite
with my spirit guides helping me with the parking. Ada, there it is on the screen. If you're a golfer as well, this is a fantastic place to be. You could play on 2 18-hole golf courses. There are a number of Airbnbs, and there'll be Airbnb hosts here who might give you some sort of discount on a longer booking.
I mean, that's what happened with us.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, when we were here for 9 months, we asked a virtual Portuguese PA, to negotiate with somebody, and they took it off Airbnb.
Yeah, and this area is getting more and more exciting all the time, because the reason we're here, we were ahead of the mayor this morning at Bobby O'Reilly's new development there. It's the south of the river thing. Its time has come, I would say. Great morning this morning with Bobby over there at Haddad the Mayor. Check out the morning's live transmission for that.
Did I hear you and Bobby talking about how much it costs in terms of transport to get from here to?
Yeah, 40 euros for a month pass on public transport.
I mean, that's really, really good.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, that's one of the great things about his new development is it's right next to a railway station. The one I used to use, I used to catch the bus from this development here, and it would go around the houses and eventually end up near a railway station on this side of the river. Then I go on the double-decker train into town over the Vintes Gabriel Bridge, Cristo Rei. Incredible, just a wonderful, iconic journey, Portuguese journey. So it's a really good hack to be basing yourself south of the river, rather than adding a lot more expense, actually, premiums of tourist premiums on the north side of the river. And of course, you get the view here.
And there's beautiful beaches here as well.
Oh, the beaches. This is Fonte d'Italia, Costa de Caparica, from Fonte d'Italia up to Costa de Caparica. Loads of beaches in between. It's really, really a very special little find along here, and I don't think many people know about it.
I have to say, I love where we live in San Martin de Porto, but coming down here on this trip down memory lane, it has kind of turned my head a little bit. To be able to,
every time we go away, that happens, though, doesn't it?
I mean, for us, like today, we were able to walk out of our house with our 3 children, and we were straight into a lovely little pine forest, and then we
sound of woodpeckers, sound of frogs, ducks, birdsong of all kinds.
There was so much bird song. It was absolutely.
Do you remember this is where we saw our first hoopoe bird as well on this golf course?
I'd never ever seen a hoopoe before. They're beautiful birds.
It's a kind of bird, not a hoopoo.
Yeah, hoopoe there.
Hoopoo. Some of our children's jokes.
And where we're staying at the moment, it has a bar and a supermarket and all the kind of sort of community things you might expect.
Great food. What a lunch that was
goodness,
today. Yeah. Really good morning out and back for a great lunch here.
So I would say it's a very good place to stay.
Yeah.
And the other great thing about this area as well is Uber services this area as well.
Oh yeah.
Because where we are in San Martin de Porto, I'm not aware that Uber works there.
Traditional taxis in San Martin.
Yeah.
We know. One of our neighbours is a taxi, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. M, for your insight on pillows and Airbnbs.
I'm sure there's more to share.
Well, it's already been recognised. We're having one of those expats everywhere moments where I'm thinking, I don't know, but Suze is saying, yes, excellent tip with the pillows.
Oh, and the other one, and this is a really important one. I mean, so many people, all the Airbnbs have smart TVs in them, and you might be really experienced in going from place to place to place to place and knowing to log out of your Netflix account or
even knowing how to not log into your Netflix account.
Where every time we go to one of these new places, you can see the list of previous people that stayed and forgotten to log out,
and whether they were Polish or Swedish, because it's all been translated.
Yes, we went to watch a film today in Polish because one of our kids hadn't actually logged in with my account, and we were actually looking at somebody else's, and so we sorted that out.
Yeah,
so that's always a must, because otherwise people are going to be watching your profile.
Yes, not that we've anything to hide.
No. I mean, it's the same with YouTube as well. So, if you are browsing on both of those, it's worth taking that extra time. It's a bit of a faff, isn't it? Logging out of it all.
Well, I say we've got nothing to hide, but the next people who come in will see that us adults have been watching Peter Rabbit 2 which is really good, wasn't it? Peter Rabbit too can recommend that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Let's say because we're getting quite a few
Well,
being up here between 2 on Sunday morning and to have your lovely company. So thank you. And Tom S is telling us why today wasn't such a day for Tom S.
hope everyone's okay.
Hola, Sue's from Ada. Lovely to see you here, Ada Wilson. And Michael T is in hot and sunny South Florida. Fantastic.
Is Colleen in the house? Can we wish her happy birthday?
I think Colleen is out and about celebrating her birthday. She did give her apologies. I think she's been taken out for dinner. So should you be watching this on catch up, Colleen?
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, parabéns. Many happy returns to you. And yes, Capricorn Chris asking if you're coming to Portugal on a scouting trip this year. Can we help with that at all? I was cooking chicken and noodles for dinner. So was I, Thomas. Funny enough, I had chicken and shit taki mushrooms with noodles this evening, didn't I? And instead of pouring the water from I think everyone's done this, right? That may be no consolation. Guess what?
Give me a clue.
Instead of pouring the water from cooking the noodles down the drain, I poured it into the pot with the chicken, and I couldn't drain it out. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Tom Smith. Hope you were able to still have a lovely dinner anyway. The Global Nobles are in as well. Bono Adonis from Lisbon. They stay up late, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They're often here saying hi. Thank you, Global Nobles, for being here. And it sounds like an improvised chicken soup.
Yeah.
Yes. We're able to look on the right side and reframe
that's what
it.
You've got to do, isn't it? You've got to just reframe it and say, "Oh no, it's a new recipe I'm trying out."
Yeah, I think I'd have drained it off. And put some cream in. Noodle water would be a bit starchy, but that would thicken the soup, wouldn't it? But I guess it might be too late now. Capricorn 12 already started, and I've purchased a few apartments. Check you out, Michael T. Purchasing a few apartments, fantastic.
Where have you purchased them, Michael?
Yes, good question. I want to follow up the WhatsApp message I sent you on Friday, says Tom S. I was thinking about what I said, and I realised there are people who will help with getting everything set up in Portugal, like EI. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you want to reiterate your WhatsApp comment? Because I don't want to give away a confidence between me and anyone who takes the time to send messages to me via WhatsApp. I won't share that on there unless you give me permission. Although it does say on my WhatsApp, if you send me something, it is likely to be shared. But I think it's good form to make sure that we're not having a private conversation that you absolutely don't want to be shared. And I know a lot of people really don't mind and are very happy to share in for the common good. But do you want to reiterate what you were saying, Thomas? And we'll see if we can pick that up tonight, because I thought it was a very interesting and useful point for others, perhaps. Good pillow tip, Louisa. A good pillow is so important, and Michael T is purple-faced, crying about pillow talk tonight. See, for some people, that's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Pillows? Are you serious? And for others like Sue, yes, good.
Well, I mean, talking of pillows, the reason we just happened to go to IKEA is my mum and dad are coming to stay very soon.
Yes.
And my mum is super fussy about pillows. She loves a
Would
feather.
she have known if we'd have used the pillows, do you think, like Princess and the Pea? Or do we want to give them to her unwrapped?
No. I also wanted to get some extra ones, so I was like, just leave it with me. I saw it as an excuse to get some new fresh, some new fresh pillows.
Yes.
And I was also thinking ahead, thinking, and if the pillows here are stinking, we've got
it can
fresh.
Happen,
Yeah.
Because there are things that with all the best will in the world, the person who sets up your Airbnb can only do so much to make it look good.
Because a lot of them aren't even the owners, are they?
They're not, and they're probably not going to lie down on the bed and look up at the ceiling to see the scuff marks and things that
or sniff
the pillows.
Yeah.
I mean, in many ways, you don't want them sniffing pillows,
so
it can happen. Yeah, that's a really good and interesting point about maybe taking your own pillows.
I think having your own pillows is great. I mean, if you're driving around, it's no problem, is it?
It's great for the kids, isn't it?
Is it?
Hopefully not. Right, Ada. Sorry, Carl. I didn't hear where you are at the moment. It is Herdado Araúeira, and just in case you didn't hear, it is a golf resort. It was built as a golf resort. It has some extremely prestigious property, which you can buy for anything from about 500,000 upwards to several million euros. And on the edges are condo-style apartments, which I think were designed to be lived in as timeshare or for golfers. But what's happened is people live in them. Some people live here all the time. Some people clearly don't live here very much and never just come for their 2 weeks a year. And other people have set them up as Airbnbs. So it's quite a mixture of accommodation. It is gated, and not that that's a big deal for us. It just happens to be gated, although you get waved through at the barrier. It's a kind of psychological safety.
They don't really check.
No, there's a dentist here. There's a fantastic shop. There's a restaurant.
Cheeky hairdressers.
No, she's shut.
Oh.
That's a dentist now. If she kept saying to every male customer, "Have you thought of having a hair transplant?" I'm not surprised she went out of business. There's a laundrette, a laundry, a fish shop once a week. The Casa
Oh
Pasia.
gosh, I forgot about
You can
that.
buy fresh fish here. Cash machine. Is there a pharmacy?
Yeah.
There's a pharmacy as well.
Yeah.
So everything you would need for everyday life in a lovely, pine forest, right?
Yeah.
Pine forest, basically, with 2 18-hole golf courses. That's us here and where we're staying. Very handy for getting into town as well. First trip, Capricorn 12. A great question from you. I think he's stepping in a little bit and helping us out tonight, isn't he, with some extra production help.
Bless you, thank you.
First trip, so it'll be more like a vacation that I greatly need. Well done, Nubianette. You deserve it. I'm sure I have a few years before I retire. So vacation, a little bit of scouting planning, I guess, as well, and just to see if the reality lives up to your expectations and dreams, perhaps. Running an Airbnb is a labour of love. You always want to please guests. It's important to change and renew every year.
Oh gosh, have you guys got accommodation that you rent out? I think you do, don't you?
Capricorn 12, yeah.
Do you do it via Airbnb?
I mean, if you're going to make a lot of money, you need loads of them, don't you? And I think a lot of people, it's a bit like people who go into house rentals on a small scale. Sometimes they just care too much, don't they? I suspect Capricorn-curious is one of those Airbnb hosts. As calling it a labour of love rather than a hard-nosed business move, I suspect here. So yeah, good on you, Chris. What changes have you brought about this? Have you installed? It's a matter of striking a balance, isn't it, for human nature? Some people don't care about your place, I suspect, and I think you've talked about it before. And others are really respectful and make it a pleasure to share and let out your property. I heard someone say yesterday that they were staying in hotels again. It had to happen, didn't it? It's like vinyl. Hotels are great. I love hotels. You know, we stay in hotels as well as
all sorts I remember what you're talking about now when we were staying over the bar. Yes.
In Lulay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first time.
That's right.
And then the second time
sinking down here.
The second time we actually went and stayed in a hotel, didn't we? By the market.
Yes, that's right. Sorry, I just need to make that adjustment. Yeah, the second hotel in Lulay was fantastic. Just overlooking the Saturday morning market. Lulay is Capricorn Chris will know this, but Lulay is a fantastic place. Loule in the Algarve, not right on the waterfront. Charming, ancient place, really, with a great market. I heard someone say yesterday that they were staying in hotels again. That's B&Bs. That B&Bs were contributing to the rental housing shortage. I guess they were, and it's the proposals are that it's going to get tougher to get an AL license here in Portugal. Were they staying in hotels to help the housing crisis, or did they just prefer hotels? When we got stuck in a hotel, we really enjoyed that, didn't we? The Portuguese 3-star with the breakfast in the morning. That was great.
Yeah, do you know what? I think with Airbnbs, I think they're really great for families.
Yes,
because it's not always so easy to get a family suite in a hotel, and then the price really racks up.
Yeah, well said.
Whereas, you know, an Airbnb, I mean, and like we're not precious about having like one room for every single person.
Yeah,
you know, if there's a big sofa bed, we'd all crash on it probably.
Yes,
or you know,
we have done.
Yeah, we have done.
Yeah.
You know, we're quite a close knit family, but you know, being able to cook and stuff like that. I think Airbnbs are great for
privacy.
Yeah.
And saving your noise from other people as well, right? Well, there's 3 young kids, if that's your situation.
Yeah.
Sesimbra. We were talking about Sesimbra only today, weren't we? To somebody, I think. Tom Smith. Looks like a great place, isolated next to the ocean, and it's only 30 to 45-minute drive from central Lisbon.
Yeah.
Spot on, Tom. We have done that drive. First time we noticed the white plastic chairs, as I recall, along that road. Yes.
Yeah, tell them about those.
No, I'm not. I'm less drawn on the matter because we were watching a Louis Theroux program, weren't we? Because we don't normally get terrestrial telly That's been a bit of a theme then tonight.
Well, let us know if you know what the white plastic chairs are
By the side of the road
that
in
Carl's
Portugal.
referring to.
Yes, okay.
Because it might not just be in Portugal, you might find it all over the shop.
It might be a global motif.
Well, it's a bit cold to do it in the UK, isn't it?
Indeed. So Sesimbra, absolutely, that's a great call, Tom. Sesimbra, not far from. Well, it is a beautiful seaside town, isn't it? Not far from Palmela, as it. What's it called? Azetonas? No.
Azeitão.
Azeitão. Is that right?
I can't
Anyway,
remember. Shall I look it up?
Palmela. It's a very good call, and not far from Setúbal as well, Sesimbra. So and the Arabada National Park. So excellent call, Tom. Is that of interest to you? Ada says, thank you for all your comments and questions here. It's really great to see them. Thank you. Unless I'm staying in one place for a minimum of a week, I prefer a hotel stay myself. Yeah, I can understand that, Ada and Nubian. I love a good hotel bar, but traveling over 3 weeks, it would be nice to have a kitchen at some point. So that's the other great reason, isn't it, for having Airbnb? Although some hotels, we've stayed also in Portugal, where some of the hotels have had a little studio apartment style, haven't they? Do you remember when we were up in Aveiro, that quite strange place? Now, it looked like it was quite close to Aveiro, which it was as the bird flew, but we had to drive. Was it up and back down on a peninsula?
Yeah.
Which added another 40 minutes to the journey every day.
It was like another hour and 20 or something.
But that was very interesting.
As the crow flies, it was only about a mile away.
Yes.
But oh my goodness.
You could see Aveiro across the water, in fact.
You could, yeah.
And that was, you go into a hotel reception, but most of the hotel was created as little studio apartments. So yes, that does happen.
You know what? I can't even remember what that looked like. We've stayed in so many places.
Azeitão.
I just can't remember.
And it is lovely though, and it's right where Tom Smith is talking about. Good night, Munsons, from Steve and Angie Mo. And Steve, hello, how are you doing? Great to see you both here. How are you? Fantastic to have your company. It just makes it worthwhile staying up late when we can connect with pals like this. Is fantastic. Being a single traveller, I sometimes feel a bit isolated in a B&B. I like the hotel bar and chatting with staff.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, and you've got safety there as well, haven't you? You've got. I mean, if I was on my own, I might choose not to stay in an Airbnb and hunt for a hotel as well. Oh,
have I done this again?
Wow.
Oh, this is terrible. We're not actually speaking through. Oh, we're not speaking through the right. Okay, this is going to be so much better, everybody. Now when I do this.
But why are we hearing ourselves through the right one?
Because that's how it works, and then we get this false sense of security. So thank you for our attention. I think that will be so much better now. Yes. Do tell us if that's better, please. Oh, sorry that you've had to endure nearly half an hour. What a pain. That is terrible. But although we have been heard, but probably not in the best quality. You just got a thumbs up there, so I think maybe that got suddenly better. Do let us know if that's the case, if that audio is better.
Still trying to find Azeitão.
Yes, I'm sure you're right. Okay. We are going to the comments. Yes, 20 euros if you're over 65, says Tom. For a bus pass in Lisbon, if you're over 65, it's 20 euros. That covers from Mafra to Setúbal. Azeitão. Yeah. Okay, well done. And there's a great cheese that comes from there. And I think the...
lots of wines, because when we were driving around...
Is it Aliança or Bacalhau that are there in Azeitão as well? There's a big wine producer there. Thank you, Suze. Please, if ever it's uncomfortable, do let us know and we'll do what we can here. And I think I've just sorted that out.
Yeah, we're with a pop-up media kit here.
And these microphones have been pointless so far. They've just been for show, which is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What a shame.
Property is changing. Much better, says Tom. The echo was just more real. Thank you for that. A thumbs up from Steve as well. So you asked Michael where the apartments were. Downtown Nazaré. Up on the cliff in Sitio. You went to Sitio for the first time the other day, didn't you?
Sitio.
Where you got out with the kids and they took you to that swing.
Oh,
in
Nazaré. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, and San Martinho de Porto. Hello, neighbour.
Oh, wow.
So some good.
Whereabouts in San Martinho de Porto?
Some good Silver Coast. You see there, Michael T. I'm the very soul of discretion. San Martinho de Porto, if you want to let us know, Mrs. M's keen to know which bit of San Martinho de Porto. Or give me permission to tell her, maybe.
Yes.
Go.
Oh, no.
That's awkward.
That's super awkward. How can that be? Let me just.
We just got a battery notice flashing up on our screen.
I'm gonna have to plug the M behind.
We are
have to keep talking.
We are so tightly wedged in here. I daren't move in case, because I'm really clumsy, in case I pull everything. Yes, I might like pull everything off, and the computer and camera and everything just like goes off. It appears that maybe. Are you okay? You can't move the sofa with me sat on it.
But that's so weird. I am plugged in. The show may crash.
Oh dear, this is going from bad to worse.
Well, it's not. What are the
This is like Tom's pasta dish today.
Or if I put the
I think you might have put the wrong power supply into the wrong
in
computer.
the headphone socket instead of where it needs to be.
Is that better?
I'm not sure if it is. That's poor.
Yikes! So last week, we had our.
Read the questions to read them out.
No, I can't read anything because I can't move. Sorry, we're trying to understand. Like last week, we had that awful troll that really zeroed in on Frank, and Frank was 3 sheets to the wind as well. And then this week
As it turns out, yes.
and this week we've got terrible technology, even though we've actually got really good technology. It's just our setup hasn't been so.
We haven't made it work very well.
we haven't done a very good job.
That's so weird. It is plugged in, so we'll just have to go. Maybe I'll just turn the screen brightness right down. It says we've got 14 minutes. So
and how long will that take us until?
I don't know. I've turned the screen down to lowest brightness, and we'll just keep going for as long as we can.
Okay.
I've done everything I can, actually.
Must be a dodgy connection.
I can't believe it. Yes, it may be the socket behind. Yeah, because we're in an Airbnb. We don't know whether that socket works normally or not. Okay, go ahead and share. But the executive summary is that Thursday's Dream Team show was a real downer. Well, yes. I think there was some real vulnerability and honesty about the situation in Portugal at the moment. And I did. You heard me, I'm sure, Tom, asking the panel to say, okay, fair enough, these are real problems, but this is still a great place to come. And I think that is still the consensus as well. Certainly, we feel that. I was talking to Bobby about it this morning. With what the government are up to at the moment with their response to the housing crisis and their proposed policies, it is a mess. And I think it is knocking. It does look like anti-foreigner sentiments in some ways. And Ceph are a pain. Cephalus is a big issue. And the big global context is there are a lot of challenges in the world at the moment, and Portugal cannot separate itself from that, with its own inflation problems, recession problems. But in the whole scheme of things, our weekend here kind of shows, doesn't it, that this is still a great country to be in. People are great.
We've had a fantastic time.
Yeah. So I do get it. I totally understand why that, and that's why I did say to everybody, look, can we put this right? Can you say something on the more positive side as well? And they did. But I can understand why you say that, Tom, as well. I
mean, like in terms of like how great it is. I mean, like Carl's from London, and I grew up sort of on the outskirts of London. There aren't many capitals where you can easily drive and get about and where they're busy, but that you still do get a kind of easy time where you don't feel so stressed or harassed some way. And I don't know, it's just really cool. Just it's a delight, I think.
Yeah.
It was so nice driving. Like we've been working so hard recently and been stuck in San Martino de Porto, which is absolutely beautiful. But it was really great to get somewhere a bit busier and get a sense of more life. And I think we'll be happy to drive home and go back to the relative solitude of our life.
we have realised as well what sort of country bumpkins we've become by the seaside there. It's really quiet where we live, and we do quite like it. Going to the city, what a contrast.
Yeah,
and a nice one.
Contrast.
Yeah, a nice one. But we will be ready to go back when the time comes.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that, Tom. I know that's the way it went, and it's all relative. And I still think this is a great country to come to. I must say that. And thank you, Steve. Yes, thank you for your picture of what you're drinking tonight, as well as your mug that you've received. Look at that.
Oh, fantastic.
And my share with that, Steve, is that I sent you a message, a personalized message, and then I saved it as a template upon which to base my thanks and appreciation to other mug purchasers. And they all got the same message as you. Because whilst I thought I'd adapted it, I got a message from James, Banana Slug, who said, "You're so thoughtful, your personal messages, your personal message to me, love, Steve." And then I looked, and I was horrified because I looked at all the other messages that I thought I'd adapted and changed, and they were all to Steve. So your the appreciation to you, Steve, went far and wide,
Yes.
including to many other people. So we also have your wine that you're drinking, Red Blend of Portugal. Let me just see what you're saying about that. I can't read that from that little label there, unfortunately. Portugal night here in Minneapolis while watching GMP America. GMP America, that sounds good, doesn't it? And you've been eating and drinking Portuguese, by the way. Let us know. Tell us a bit more, if you will, in the chat about that, Steve. And it's true that the show may go crash at any minute. And then you'll just be, I think the stream might continue. I don't know if it cuts off or not, but I might have to cut it off manually after we've figured out how the battery charging works, but it may go. I've had a warning and I've not been able to do anything about it, so it may go, just so you know. As well, should we suddenly disappear? Okay.
And we should be right back to normal next week. We won't have any drunkards.
As normal as we get.
Yeah, I mean, we're not planning on having drunk people join us. And hopefully we won't have any trolls. And we'll be back to our usual technology. So
yeah,
it should be good.
On average, says Cookie Koyo, how much is a loaf of bread? A loaf of sliced bread? That little toaster loaf I bought,
no idea.
I think I bought one for $1.49 yesterday. It was around that sort of price. It wasn't a full kind of foot-long loaf. It was a half loaf, I think, for about $1.49.
With
but
really
a really
thick
thick, powder forma, they call it here.